Welcome back to F1 2020 Ferrari Return to Glory career mode. There are just 2 races left in this second season, and well, we come here then to 2 tracks that we did very well at last season, and we need to repeat that this time around because we are 29 points behind Lewis Hamilton then with 2 rounds to go, 20 behind Max Verstappen, so we really need 2 very good results and we need some other things to go in our favour. We also need that in the constructors as well because Mercedes have been slowly whittling down that constructors title lead and they're just 4 points behind us now. So we're going to fast forward time then, it's back-to-back race weekends here, and this is how the development race is looking. It looks like Red Bull and Racing Point have actually brought some more upgrades then in just this 1 week. We don't have anything yet, but we're eyeing up an upgrade for the Farm race in Brazil, so hopefully we'll get that on and we hopefully won't be too far back this weekend. Interestingly, a fully dry qualifying, but then it's apparently going to rain for the entire Grand Prix, so that could be very interesting then, and we'll see then how that plays out. We'll probably have to run a bit of a wet setup in qualifying to make up for that, as practice then went okay and we get some more resource points. We're looking quite good there, and a little bit of an acclaim boost as well, and we did actually gain quite a few resource points there, so we may well have a chance here. And in fact, we do have another chance here to get another upgrade on the car. Now, we've also got the regulation changes to, well, throw into the mix, but as I've already said, F1 2020 is out. It could already be out by the time this goes out, but hopefully it won't be. F1 2021, I should say. It will be out either within the next week, or hopefully this won't get held up at all, and yeah, it will still be in the next week or something. So yeah, this is the last season obviously that we're going to do on this game, so I'm not worrying about that. I'm just worrying about getting upgrades on the car for this season, and we're going to have 2 engine upgrades hopefully for this Farm race in Brazil, which if we can get them both on, that will really help us in that finale potentially, because we could still be in it. Hopefully we will be as we head into qualifying for Mexico. I went into this like really confident that we would still be in it just because of how quick we were last season. We almost challenged for the win going up against Valtteri Bottas, I remember, in the Mercedes when we had the worst engine at the time. So I was feeling quite confident here that we could be right at the field then and challenging for the race win here and keeping our title hopes alive. And yeah, it was going pretty well then in qualifying. Just this track on this game, I really enjoy it. It was never really a track that I used to care for much, but on this game I really enjoy it, and we did alright then in Q1. It wasn't the best lap, but we got through comfortably then in 7th position. As we see then the 2 Alfa Romeos dropped out, so did Romain Grosjean there, and then the 2 Williams were on the back row of the grid there. Heading into Q2 now, where we may as well just be on soft tyres here then. I mean, that is normally what we do anyway, but yeah, it's really not going to matter at all then what tyres we're on as long as we get through, because well, the race is looking like it's going to be a complete washout then, so we certainly won't be using these tyres again then, whatever happens. As we are on the final corner now then, we'll see what this time is. It wasn't the best one there, only a 13.7. We set a 0.6 in Q1, so I was out here again then. We are still comfortable though at the moment in the top 10, but I did want to go out again here then in case the AI did improve their times quite significantly. Not much to choose out between our lap times, but we did find a bit of an improvement then in the final sector, and this should secure us our place. And in Q2 we were Q3 I'd say we were through anyway, but we improved up to 5th then ahead of Charles there, so that's a bit of a confidence boost for us there. And looking further down, Gasly went out, Ricciardo there out qualified by Ocon, a bit of a surprise. Kvyat out as well, Lance Stroll there only 14th, so that's a huge shock there. He's like us really, can't seem to get it together in qualifying too often. Magnussen out there as well. And then Q3 came along, and yeah, this put a bit of a spanner in the works then. We were held up for quite a bit of time there, and we finally do go out now then on a used set of tyres, so we'll see then how this time goes. Obviously the track will be a little bit more rubbered in, so maybe a little bit better than it would have been. As we run the final corner now then, and yet again, wasn't the best time there, 13.697, and yeah, we can do better than that then hopefully on our final run now then. We're still pretty much level then in the first sector, but I mean there's not really much in the first sector other than 2 long straights and then like 1 chicane, so we wouldn't expect there to be much difference there. We are now gaining some time then in the second sector, and yeah, we're up by a little bit of time there then, but hopefully we can find a little bit more now then in this very technical final sector here then. So we're gaining a bit more time now then, getting up to around about 2/10 improvement. Do lose a bit through the final corner there, but we're starting to gain it back now then to the line, and we go 4th there then, so that is a good qualifying for us. Verstappen then on pole, Charles in 2nd. The crucial thing here though is that Lewis Hamilton, championship leader, is 8th. We've been thrown a lifeline here. If we can get up to the front in the race and Hamilton can't make up much progress, then we're not out of it in the championship basically. We certainly do need to get ahead of Verstappen because he's still quite a way in front of us as well. But yeah, Hamilton down the field is certainly, you know, a lifeline for us, and we really have to make the most of this opportunity now then, and hope that he can't make up too much progress himself then in the race. As we'll see then what we can do. Obviously, as you can see there from the forecast, it's going to be a very wet race then, and yeah, anything could happen then. A very long run to turn 1 tomorrow, so yeah, we'll see then how it all plays out. Just 2 races to go then. We'll now head into the Mexican Grand Prix.
Here we go then, it's time to race in Mexico City, a place which gave Honda their first ever victory back in 1965. American Richie Ginther won from 3rd on the grid. And what are the Honda-powered cars this year? Well, Red Bull have been going strong here in recent seasons, so can they keep that record going today? 17 corners then at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 10 to the right and 7 to the left, and all of them will have to be tackled in difficult, wet conditions here today. No DRS assistance either, at least not for the start of the race, but the best overtaking opportunities will still be down into turn 1 or shortly afterwards into turn 4. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's talk about the scientist. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, the scientist, Valtteri Bottas, and Albon, Norris, Hamilton, Ricciardo, and Daniel Kvyat, Stroll, Magnussen, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Grosjean, Russell, Sainz, Esteban Ocon, and Kimi Raikkonen. Latifi and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
It's looking like it's going to be Inter then all the way through, and the team have decided there's going to be a 2-stop then, with the 1-stop apparently not being an option here. The only other option I guess they wanted was a 3-stop, but yeah, that's looking a lot slower then. We're going to take quite a bit of fuel out of the car, I think, because we'll be running probably lower revs then in some of the tighter sections, and we probably just in general won't be using much fuel, I don't think. Won't be really down a couple of long straights, and then as I said, we'll probably be running in lower engine modes for a lot of the laps, so I think we can afford to run a bit light here, and that'll hopefully help us then and give us a bit more grip here. We'll see what we can do then. We're in a good position, and a lot could happen by the time we get to turn 1. Interestingly, no real grid penalties up at the front, although there were quite a few in the midfield, so the front of the grid's not really impacted then, as we are going to line up in our grid slot now then, and we'll be just moments away then from the start of this race, and the lights are coming on now. And away we go, and it's a decent start then to begin with, although we've in 4th gear had some massive wheel spin there, almost hit Bottas, almost hit Albon there, and that's going to really hurt us now then. On this long run down towards turn 1, we've got Norris looking at us now as well then, and Ricciardo, and into the first corner. Where are we going to be here then? We're so close there to Ricciardo. We're 7th then, going through his first few corners. That is an absolute disaster for us there then. We wanted to be moving forwards and not falling backwards into midfield here. We see enough of these kind of positions at the start of the race, but we're back here again then after actually qualifying well this time, as we're trying to find a way back past Norris here then, and we're bumping into him enough times there, but thankfully no damage by the looks of things to our front wings, so yeah, we should be fine to carry on here then, as we've still got Bottas and Albon up in front of us then having a battle, and that's well, slowing us all down a little bit here then, as they're still getting side by side, but it looks like Bottas has just about managed to come out on top there. But that certainly then was not the start that we wanted. As we see then the replay, it looked like we were all pretty even away from the line, but then I just had so much wheel spin in sort of like the sort of the second phase there, and well, we were lucky really to not have an incident there, to be honest, because we were well out of control. But thankfully we did manage to somewhat gather it back up, but still we lost quite a few places there when we wanted to be going forward really. As you see on board then from Bottas, we'll see just how close this was. I think he actually had a little bit of a slide as well there, and he also had to get out of it a little bit to avoid running into the back of us there. But yeah, he managed to then get ahead of us here, but he's going to have a bit of a battle here then with Albon. They just went side by side for pretty much the whole first half of the lap, it seemed like. They were side by side there, and it's going to continue then all the way throughout the first part of the lap, as we see it now then from Albon, and we see then, yeah, that was very close to contact there, and we did almost come across there and collect the Red Bull, but yeah, thankfully not then. As we see then Albon had the inside line here. We see up in front as well then the home hero Perez there challenging our teammate as well for second place, which didn't pay off in the end. Then Leclerc did come out on top in that one, as this battle between Albon and Bottas just went on and on during these first few corners, and just allowed the front three to build up a little bit of a gap there, which was a little bit annoying there. And it was Bottas then in the end who just about had enough there to reclaim that position. As we get to lap 3 now then, where we really want to be trying to gaining back some of these positions here, but it's not happened yet then. We're still on the back of Lando Norris. We've got a great run though out of turn 3, so we may have a chance this time. He's going a little bit defensive then, and I thought he made a little bit of a move there on the brakes, but either way we couldn't quite get through there, and this is getting a bit frustrating. We can sum them up. Verstappen's already managing to build out quite a gap at the front here, so that is certainly not good for us then. We need to beat him today. We need to make the most of Lewis Hamilton being down in 9th position at the moment as well. That's absolutely crucial here, and we really just need to get back up the field, because we've gone the wrong way from where we qualified. As we skip on to the next lap now then, where we're still in behind Norris here, and it's got Albon just up in front of him as well then, so we should hopefully, once we get Norris here, hopefully we can get Albon as well. There shouldn't be as much of a DRS strain here, because, well, there isn't DRS basically. But yeah, we're going to go for it this time then. Going for a bit of a lunge on Norris into turn 4, but it was, well, it paid off then, because we managed to get it done then and move ourselves up a position. And yeah, it was a bit of an opportunistic move there, but yep, managed to make it work then. Here's the replay, and we were say a couple of car lengths behind there, but yep, just had confidence on the brakes, and yep, we managed to get it done. Then eventually we can set off after, well, the first of hopefully 2 Red Bulls that will be passing today then. And here is Albon. He is starting to move a little bit then towards the inside line there, going defensive, so we'll just stay on the racing line here. Now try and run it running outside, get the inside line for turn 2, and that's exactly what we're going to do then. And we are through and up into 5th place, so finally getting some moves done. We've got 2 done then in quick succession there, and hopefully we can now start to close down that gap that we've let build up there in front of us. We were about 2.5 seconds there behind Bottas, but we should be able to catch that back up now then. So we are seeing a replay there of that overtake, but you can just see that we were just easily the quickest car on the track then, just setting purple lap times for fun. The team are actually now suggesting a new strategy to us there, which is to pit a couple of laps earlier, so maybe they're thinking about getting a little bit of an undercut here then, and that could potentially allow us then to clear this little group here then, which we have now caught up to the back of here then. So here's a bit of a 4-car train now, but maybe without DRS then it won't be as bad, and we are getting a good run here then on Bottas, so we may have a chance here towards turn 4. He's going a bit defensive then, and we are up the inside though, so yeah, he's not going to be able to make too much of a move there then, and we managed then to complete the move and get it done and move ourselves up into 4th position. Bottas then did go defensive, again, it's hard to tell. I think because the track bends round to the right a bit, it sort of gives the impression that they're moving over to the left and the braking, but I don't think it actually was. But in any case, we did manage to get the move done there then. And on lap 10 then, we come in then for what is our first scheduled pit stop. Obviously was brought forward then by a couple of laps, and we'll see then if this was the right decision to do that then. And obviously we don't know what anyone else is even going to do in terms of strategy, because well, the team thought a 2-stop was right for us, but you never know, someone could try the 1-stop here and they'd be in a very good position potentially. Out of the pits we come then, we'll see exactly where we are, and it doesn't seem like this was the best decision, to be honest, because we're right behind Antonio Giovinazzi and Esteban Ocon here, who will be going a lot slower than us. So I don't really see how that was really the right decision there, but maybe the team knows something that we don't. But we'll just have to now try and clear these cars as quickly as we can, and hopefully find ourselves in a little bit of clear air here. As we're already looking at Ocon here then, and we should get us moved down then around the outside into turn 4, and yeah, we are indeed through then, back up a place then. But we're just heading into a really tight section now, so it's going to be hard to pass Giovinazzi, and indeed we had to just sit on the back of him there then for that entire, well, almost that entire lap there, and now we're finally going to get moved done comfortably. So we do have a little bit of clear air, but there's only George Russell like a second and a half up the road, and we should be catching the Williams in almost no time at all, and that is exactly the case then. So yeah, just yet again we're just finding ourselves just stuck in so much traffic here then, as we're trying to just push on here then and get on with our race. Russell's going defensive then towards the stadium section here, but we should be able to just run around the outside now then, and that is indeed what we do, and move ourselves up into 12th. So we do have a slight bit of clear air in front of us now, but I can't imagine it'll take too long to reel in Magnussen and Stroll here then, especially as we're on fresh tyres. Thankfully though, we are now starting to see some cars in the pits. Lewis Hamilton's in, so is Daniel Ricciardo there, so we know that we're not the only car that on a 2-stop strategy here, but anyway, we are just going to keep on pushing on. We are setting some very quick sector times here then, some very fast lap times. Charles is now in the pits, so we'll see how close it is. We've obviously been tucked up behind some cars during these few laps, but we also have set a fastest lap, and we are setting some purple sectors again here, as we are just now starting to catch up to Stroll. So we were held up a little bit then in those final couple of corners, but we'll see then just how close this is with Charles then out of the pits here. We're in the slipstream with Stroll as well. We've jumped Bottas here then. We were ahead of him there actually, we did pass him on track, and Charles then has come out just in front of us, so it would have been a comfortable undercut there, but we were just stuck behind so many of the cars further down the field that it just didn't work out for us there, and we are still behind Stroll here, which is quite frustrating, but we should hopefully get him down this straight now then towards turn 4, and it's going to be tight here then. We're side by side, we're on the outside line, but yeah, we're through then and up into 5th place here then, with a couple of cars still to pit then in this race, and we'll have to see then exactly what which cars do pit soon. Hopefully they all will, because that will mean that they're all on 2 stops here. What we also really need is Charles to probably let us through here, because we are certainly the fastest car on the track, but we're not really able to well, fully go as quick as we like, because we've got Charles just up in front of us. Perez is now in then, and that leaves the 2 Red Bulls, 1 and 2, still yet to pit. So have they just duped everyone again like they did in Hungary and gone for the 1 stop while everyone else did a 2? We'll have to wait and see here, but this is why we need to get past Charles, because yeah, we do, I think, have a slight pace advantage, but yeah, we're not getting through at the moment then, as this is just how much Red Bull are flexing on everyone at the moment then. They've brought in both cars on the same lap. Verstappen and Albon both in. That was on lap 17, so you'd think that'd be around about 1 stop range, in which case we really need to just push on now and get ahead of Charles. We just catch him so much here then, but once we get into the tight twisty section of the track, we just can't do anything there. So we really need to get the move done here if we can. We're very close to him then. He's going defensive towards turn 4. We just weren't quite close enough there to go for the move on the brakes, but we're going to try and take advantage of the fact that he was out of shape there. We're going to cut back underneath from turn 5, and towards turn 6 he's not going to be able to turn in there then. We're up the inside, and I don't know if he wanted to give us that place or not, but well, he's had to eventually, and we're up into the lead of the race, and hopefully now we can pull away and make this 2-stop work here then, because it does look like the 2 Red Bulls are on a 1 stop here, and we really just need to just push on and get the maximum out of these tyres, and maybe it will work out for us in the end here. Charles then eventually conceded. It really didn't look like he wanted to give us that one, but for the championship he had to there. We're the only one still in it realistically, and yeah, we've got a big chance today then with Hamilton down the field, and we could still beat Verstappen today as well. So yeah, he had to give us that one, and he did eventually then, very reluctantly I should say. And yeah, we are through then and into the lead, and Charles is now playing a team game for us here, blocking Max Verstappen, and we've managed to build that gap out to about 5 seconds. It was 2.5 when Verstappen came out of the pits, but Charles is really just being a roadblock for us now then, really being quite the wingman here, I'd have to say. He didn't make it easy for us to get through, but he just doesn't seem to want to make it easy for anyone to get through here, and he's really hurting Verstappen here, which is fantastic for us. The pit window opens for us on lap 23, so that did get moved forward a lap as well then when they changed the strategy around. So yeah, we're in slightly earlier then for our final stop, but I don't think it'll make much difference here, as Latifi now then is out of the race from last position. At this point I really wanted a safety car, because if a safety car comes out right now we win the race, I think, because yeah, we're just gonna save so much time if we pit now when it's under safety car conditions. But it doesn't look like that's happening then. We can see Latifi on the left there just pulled off, and annoyingly he's pulled off in a very well out of the way position there. So yeah, doesn't look like there's going to be a safety car here then. We do now pit then anyway for our final stop here, and just Charles there did an amazing job for us. We were 8 seconds clear of Verstappen as we came into the pits. We may still have a chance now then of actually hunting him down now on this fresh set of inters and potentially still winning this race. We have to see though where we come out here. Hopefully we'll be in a bit of clear air, and well, once again it doesn't look like we will, because Lewis Hamilton is only just up the road there, but he is still having a dismal afternoon here then, down in 7th position at the moment, and it will be 8th when he pits for a second time here. So yeah, we really do have a great chance here then. If we can just beat Verstappen as well, we could bring ourselves right back into it in the championship here. And here we go then, we're right on the tail now of Hamilton, but I don't think we're going to be able to make the move done here. And what we really need is him to now pit for his second stop on this lap, which hopefully he will. He pitted on lap 12 before, and indeed he is now pitting in for his second stop. Ricardo I think is in as well there. Yes, he is, and that moves us up then a couple of places. And I would say we have a little bit of clear air, but yeah, we managed to close it down then very quickly, and once again we're catching the car in just the wrong place here. This time it's Lando Norris, and yeah, we're just gonna have to sit on his tail now then for the rest of this lap, annoyingly. And yeah, so we're just gonna have to suffer with that then for now, as we skip to the end of the lap where we've got another yellow flag. Carlos Sainz is out of the race, and I'm not sure if this time I'd want the safety car. It would put me right back on the tail of Verstappen, but with Charles, Perez and Bottas all in, that could have really handed them the advantage there. So it's probably good on that occasion that it didn't happen. But anyway, we're I think we were about 12.6 when Verstappen at the start line there. So we'll see if we can close that down in these final 10 laps. Well, we've taken nearly 2 seconds out of him on that lap then, set a fastest lap of the race. So this is certainly not over yet. We have some incredible pace on these fresh inters, and if we can keep it going, we've got a really good chance here of still catching him. This is far from over, and you can see here then, next time around 9.3, we're still just taking chunks of time out of him. And we look further behind them, where we are actually going to see then in a second, Albon seems to be coming into the pits again. So that's interesting. Verstappen pitted on the same lap as him, and yet they've bailed out with Albon, which is very interesting. Are they maybe thinking that they've made a mistake here? We are absolutely reeling in Verstappen. 7.7 is now the gap, and we've set 2 purple sectors here, so we're just gaining so much time hand over fist here. And Verstappen is indeed pitting. Red Bull have completely bottled it, and yeah, they just committed to the one stop, it looked like, but now with we're so close to the end, they've realised that maybe it's not going to work here, and they've had to come in again. And well, it's now going to be very close with Leclerc again, and he has indeed gone through. It's a Ferrari 1-2, would you believe, in here in Mexico, after it looked like Red Bull had perhaps fooled everyone once again and then done a one stop and made it work. They've had to back out of it with only a few laps to go here, and this is going to change everything then in both championships. We're suddenly looking like we've got a huge lead in the constructors now and into the final race, which could all but wrap it up for us basically. And well, we were unthreatened and had the front after that because Verstappen was well behind. Once again, Leclerc held him up, so you know, top tier wingman there from Charles. I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate that, but yeah, he's done an amazing job today then, and really could have just saved the Drivers' Championship for us there then, and could have done a lot here to help us with the constructors as well. I said we would need some good fortune in these final couple of races. Well, we've just had a huge dose of it here then, and we're going to head into the final race in Brazil, still with a very good chance then of winning both championships, as we round the final corner now then, and we are going to win the Mexican Grand Prix.
Great job, you've done everything we wanted today.
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
It's the first Ferrari 1-2 of the series, and what a time for it to happen then, the penultimate round of the season, and it has quite literally saved our season in both championships there, as we take the maximum points down from this weekend thanks to us getting the fastest lap as well there. Obviously Charles there up in second, and Verstappen, well, it looked like Red Bull had, you know, done it again then. They got the strategy just right and we're going to take a comfortable win, but no, Red Bull of all people then chickened out of it and yeah, ended up losing more than they would have done potentially there. Verstappen only third in the end. I think we did have a very good chance of catching him, but I would have thought he would have still been second there, so a very surprising call from the Red Bull team. Bottas then the top Mercedes in fourth, Perez only fifth in the end in front of his home crowd, and Lewis Hamilton only eighth there then today, absolutely crucial in the championship. Looking further down, Sainz and Latifi were the only two retirements today, and yeah, we'll now see them. What's done in the standings? Well, just look at this then. Only 2 points separate Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, and we are only 9 points behind. If we have a repeat of today's result, we are the champion. All we need to do is win the race and hope that Verstappen is not in the top two, and we will be drivers' champion for this season. Obviously for Verstappen and Hamilton, a win for either of them will guarantee them the title. So yeah, we certainly do have some work to do still. Leclerc then is now mathematically out of it in fourth, but he did a great job today then to help us here take it into the final race. Perez then is still a very strong fifth there, Bottas only sixth, and Albon there still way down and out, eighth place there. Norris has really overtaken his teammate Carlos Sainz there in that inter-team battle. And in the constructors, well, things look very good for us now then heading into the final race of the season. We've got a 32 point lead, so things are going to have to go quite badly wrong for us in that race to lose it now. It's only Mercedes who can stop us as well. It really looked like Red Bull could have brought themselves right back into it today, but no, they completely choked the strategy, and that meant that they're now mathematically out of it. That was their one chance, and they've blown it now then to stay in the title fight. Racing Point looked like they've got fourth place wrapped up. It could still be pretty close there with Renault and AlphaTauri, as well as down at the bottom there between Alfa Romeo and Haas.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. You performed better than last weekend. What changed? Appreciate your time.
So we're getting quite a chunk of driver acclaim there then. We don't have a rivalry at the moment, so this is quite relevant at the moment now then, because yeah, we're very close now then to the end of this season, so it doesn't really matter what happens with all this, but still, it was a fantastic weekend for us in the end. We got basically the all the luck that we needed then, almost all of it. It's still not quite in our hands then. We do need one result to go in our favour then, and then the rest is still the rest is all up to us then basically. We were very strong at Brazil last season, and if we can go a little bit better this time around, then I do think we've got a very good chance to win that race. And as I say, we'll need a little bit of good fortune then. We need Verstappen to not be second, but I think there is certainly a very good chance that we can win the Drivers' Championship still. So yeah, you certainly do not want to miss that final round of the season then. Both championships to be decided, and we'll see then how it all plays out. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, really appreciate a like on the video, and I'll see you next time.